the messages that are coming forth from Walk in the Word have been so valuable in my life, and I know that they can make a difference at bringing people to the cross. My name is Judy Hostetler, and I live in Orrville, Ohio. Kayli was born actually just a week early. When Kayli was about a year old, we decided we wanted to grow our family, and God had already laid adoption on our heart. Caleb was born in September of 1996. We got the call that we had a son, and we got Caleb when he was 3 weeks old. And Kayli was so excited to have a little brother. So our life felt really good at that point. Things were going really well. We took Kayli in for her 8-year-old checkup, and at that appointment, he was pushing on her belly like they do, and he got a look of concern, and my husband and I were both there, and he just said, "I am so very sorry. Kayli has a tumor that is about the size of a grapefruit, and it's growing from her back through her, and we're not sure what it is, but the CT scan is identifying it as a type of lymphoma." We were 1 month short of the 5-year mark, and she went for scans, and it had shown that the cancer had grown again. So we went to the hospital, they did surgery again, and the same thing. We think you have a 90% possibility of never a reoccurrence. You'll go on to live a happy, normal life. And this time we only made it a year. The cancer had now spread, and there were now 3 tumors to deal with instead of the 1. Kayli had surgery, but this time we needed the full-blown chemotherapy and radiation to try to attack this thing. One thing that came into our lives at that point was the When Life is Hard series by James MacDonald. Our pastor had been at a men's conference and had heard Pastor James speak and had gotten that series of CDs for us. And so that helped us to see a better perspective of where we were going, and then we could kind of filter that down and feed Kayli with that information as well. She still went through a lot of period in her faith of questioning and not understanding, times where she felt mad that why me, Lord? Why am I going through this? And I really think that God brought that full circle in her life when at the age of 18, we got the call again. She was in college, that the cancer was back. And she had been without a regrowth of it for about 3.5 years. And she was finally getting to feel like a normal person, and she was at college studying to be a doctor. And we got the call that it was back, and somehow we all knew it was for the last time. And I think she knew it was for the last time. And I think that's when God brought all this prepping time into our lives. It's full circle in her life. It was the beginning of the long goodbye with our daughter. When Kayli moved home, the cancer was spreading rapidly. I bought the Always True session, and she and I would listen to that together. Her faith kept growing. As the cancer was taking more of her physical abilities, God was accelerating her spiritual life. And so I can recall many a Sunday, we would put our sermon on, she and I on a laptop, and whatever nurse we had, we would invite them to sit with us. And we had so many opportunities to share the good news of our hope with the staff there. We listened to so many of his sermons because it felt like week after week he was delivering exactly what God knew we needed. And so many of the times it dealt with suffering, it dealt with the issues of self and how we look at our own selves instead of looking out. I also signed up for his email devotionals through Walk in the Word, and I got those every day, and we would read those over breakfast. And it was just timely, time and time again, hitting me with, God is enough. You think this is too hard for him, for nothing is impossible with God. And it helped me to keep my perspective. It were those things that really spoke to me. Yes, we were going through watching our daughter suffer and die. And I am not here to say that was easy. It is the absolute hardest thing I've ever gone through in my life. But God was good in the midst of it. I got to watch my daughter grow at an exponential rate spiritually. She said to me one day, "Mom, cancer hasn't just taken away from me, it's given me something. Because had I not got sick again, I would probably not be walking with the Lord the way that I am right now." And that was a tremendous blessing to get to witness that and to be a part. But on December the 12th, she woke up that morning and looked at her nurse, and she said, "Today's my day for goodbyes." That beautiful, silly girl. Each person would come in, and if you were a Christian, she'd say, "Keep serving Jesus and I'll see you soon." But if you weren't a Christian, One family member in particular, Kayli, pulled her mask off and looked her in the eye, and she said, "Jesus is real. Read it and believe it for yourself. I know it's real, and I want to see you again someday." We spent the evening doing things we would do. At one point, she woke up and asked to take selfies with the nurses. And she couldn't even see her phone, but she did it. And spent time saying goodbye to her brothers. And so my husband and I, we prayed with Kayli and thanked God for 21 years. And for all the things he taught us by being her mom and dad. And we told her that it was okay to go and that she finished well and that we would be there soon. Kayli said to me as she pulled me down over her bed, tears in her eyes, "Mom, can't you go with me?" And I looked down at her. My tears were coming and falling on her cheeks. And I said, "Honey, I can't go with you. Everybody has to walk this mile alone. But I'll hold your hand right up until Jesus takes the other one." And she said, "Okay, Mom, I'll try to finish well and be brave." And I know that it was because we had been fed and our faith accelerated that we could have that conversation. It wasn't the conversation that I wanted, but we desperately needed to have it. And Kayli really made God Lord of her life, and she really did finish well. Had I not come and made that choice and those efforts to fuel Kayli and my faith through Walk in the Word Ministries and watching James MacDonald sermons, we would have become more focused on the struggle instead of the victory. And so by Walk in the Word, getting those in my inbox every day, the email devotions, I signed up for that because I needed that accountability. He shoots it straight. And that's what we desire. That's what we need. We don't want fluff. We don't want gloss. We want to hear it straight because I'm not going there to feel good about me. I'm going there to grow. The messages that are coming forth from Walk in the Word have been so valuable in my life, and I know that they can make a difference at bringing people to the cross.